Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
That's the sound of the Big Bang of country music. It was 1927, Bristol, Tennessee. The electric microphone meant producers could visit Appalachia and record folk songs for the first time. What they captured launched a genre. This is one of many sounds in Tennessee with a story to tell. To hear them in person, plan your trip at tnvacation.com. Tennessee sounds perfect.
Oh, no.
Tash, I was at another games afternoon yesterday, and do you know what? Like, I'm rubbish at games, right? But this one, I sort of checked out halfway through the game. It was a card game, and then I accidentally won.
Oh, what was the game?
I don't even know what it was called. But it was great fun.
You're listening to The Logbooks.
These are the stories of our lives.
We are Tash Walker
and Adam Zmith.
We're telling tales about history, politics, art, and LGBTQ+ life. Adam, what's the story today?
Well, I had a little email in my inbox saying, hello, I make a magazine called Tummy Ache.
Okay.
And we're making an edition of the magazine which is based on the theme of horny. Would you like to write something?
Horny tummy ache.
Horny
yes,
tummy ache.
Please.
So I went back and said, yeah, sure, I can write something on the theme of horny.
Great.
And I originally pitched something about wearing clothes because I thought Tummy Ache was like, because they have clothing as well as the magazine, they make like clothing.
Okay.
And so I thought that it was like a magazine about fashion. And so then I pitched something which was about like some like shoddy clothes that I had worn but I felt good in, and how it made me feel horny to like wear certain kinds of clothes.
Great.
So I pitched that. And then Anna, who's the editor that I was working with, like loved that idea and said, yeah, let's do it, write that. So then I started to write it, and then I ended up writing not about those clothes but about grey joggers.
Oh, Pete Scalpello's got a poem about one of those.
Ode to tracksuit. Tracksuit. Yeah, tracksuit. Ode to tracksuit. That's right. So I wrote, so I started writing about like, should we call them sweatpants or joggers or jogging bottoms?
Oh, sexy. Getting the bottoming in.
I know, that's what I thought. There's a pun on jogging bottoms, isn't there?
Okay, we need a break.
We need a break.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
John Summit. Control Escape Arena Tour. Live across North America in 2026. Sign up for pre-sale access at johnsummitmusic.com.
While every other channel is fighting for your customers' attention, podcasts are where they've already given it. No one accidentally listens to a podcast for 45 minutes. They choose to be here. They trust the voice in their ears, and when that voice talks about your brand, it doesn't sound like advertising. It sounds like a recommendation from a friend. Acast gives you that trust at scale. Digital precision, host-read authenticity, and performance data that proves it worked. Don't fight for attention. Buy it with Acast. Learn more by visiting acast.com/advertise.
Tash, in this episode, I want to bring Tino Orsini into the Logbooks podcast.
Who's that?
So you're going to meet him when you listen to his interview. We've got a full interview with him.
Great.
By me. Tino is an actor who I worked with 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Basically.
In your 30s.
In my... That's mean. Yeah, when I was in my 30s. And basically, I worked on I made a short film with a bunch of friends. It was called Open Plan, and it was about the intersection of being in a throuple and also London's housing market, and also being in a heterosexual two-person relationship and the intersection between those three things.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Tino was one of the actors that played one of the three guys that were in a throuple, and they were like looking for a flat to buy and trying to deal with the estate agent who was like, oh, but there's only one bedroom, but there's three of you.
Okay, I get it.
But then that estate agent was having his own relationship crisis because his girlfriend arrives home and they're imploding. So anyway, I made this film and Tino was an actor in it.
Wow, this is a bit evenings and weekends.
It's a bit evenings and weekends. Yes, that's right. So Tino was an actor in it, and we had a good time. And then he has continued to act and perform and everything, including playing the role of Banksy, the artist, in an episode of Ted Lasso.
Oh, wow.
And then he's just more recently been working on his first solo show, and that's what I wanted to ask him about. So it's going to be it's going to be a really, really interesting show, I think. And so I just thought, oh, maybe I'll bring that to Tash into the podcast.
Great, I'm looking forward to listening.
Yeah, so let's listen to Tino talking about the ghosts of West Hollywood. Tino, welcome to the Logbook.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for having me.
What is this show that you're working on?
It's called Ghosts of West Hollywood. It's the most personal work I've made in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's about Hollywood ambition and addiction, recovery, embracing your true self.
Yeah.
And I've been writing it for the past year, and I'm produced it myself, and I'm ready to go. And in June at the Etc. Theatre.
So what does it actually involve? Like, what are we, I mean, don't spoil it, but what are we going to see and experience in the theatre?
It's the story of how I kind of like made my way into the world. And I think people will relate to it because, you know, I talk a lot about my ancestors, and, you know, hopefully you'll come to the show and you'll find out some really interesting stuff about my bloodline and all that. So I came from a very kind of interesting background, and emigrated to the UK when I was 9 years old, and I had to learn a new language, make new friends, and just accommodate myself. And then I was introduced to theatre and film and art, and it was such a blessing. And I talk about my childhood and my family and going to LA when I was 18. You know, wanted to become the next Marlon Brando. Of course, everyone does. I wasn't expecting the red carpet. You know, LAX. You know, welcome. There was a lot of people there who wanted the same thing. I think. But anyway, it just talks about, and then sort of it kind of touches on some down moments as well, where I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and how I managed to find a way out of that, which is an ongoing journey that I'm on. So yeah, it's really personal, but it's a universal story. It doesn't pertain to me. It's a universal story. I think.
Okay.
I think that's what people will relate to as well.
And is it you being yourself and like telling these stories?
Yeah, totally.
It's like an evening with.
It's an evening with,
have a drink and
yes, exactly.
Hear your stories.
There's a pub downstairs. Have a drink. Come to the theatre and have 1 hour of entertainment, but also some emotional. An emotional journey. It's me. I'm not hiding behind any character this time, which is terrifying. But it's really it's scaring me. Which I was feeling a little bit like going from job to job and theatre, which I love, but I just felt like I needed something that would scare me, and I thought, right, I'm going to write something about me this time, and I'm going to just be myself on the stage on my own with an audience, and see whether I can pull it off.
Basically naked.
Completely, and turning around 360 degrees as well whilst you're there. And as you're showing, you're revealing things I've never revealed before.
Yeah.
And it goes. It's an interesting journey. You know, I have a wonderful director on board by the name of Claudio McCaw, who's South African and also Italian, and he's he's amazing. We're starting rehearsal tomorrow, actually, and we've been rehearsing for a little while. He's a wonderful playwright as well as a director. So that's really exciting that he's on board. I'm really excited about that. So yeah.
Now, when you told me about this show, you was thinking of the logbooks and the work that Tash and I have done on, like, I guess, LGBT history and us all engaging with our queerness and our ancestry and elders and things like that. So I feel like I want to hear a bit more from you about, don't reveal anything from the show necessarily, but like, what was it more about the ancestry and the elders and the things like that why did you think of the logbooks and this work? What's the connection?
Well, I came across the logbooks, and I called Switchboard in my 20s when I was confused about my own sexuality, my own identity. So it was extremely helpful to me having conversations with somebody who really understood where I was coming from. And so I thought, well, why not sort of open up rather than just be, from acting to acting job? Why not open up some of my own experiences? And that kind of, I resonated with the message, the ancestors as well. Without spoiling it too much, I have very sort of interesting, like I said, bloodline, heritage, and there was a lot of pressure to matter, and I talk about that in the show. I just felt like all these amazing figures in my family tree, and I felt a little inadequate because I thought, oh no, I just want to be an actor, and there were all these men, dead men in crowns and cloaks saying, is that it? That's all you want to be? Go to Hollywood and become an actor? So I felt like I had this legacy to uphold, and it was, it's taken me years to really just find my way and really just be happy to do what I want to do, without fulfilling anybody else's expectation of me. But yeah, it's an interesting story, and I wanted to share it with people, to.
That makes me think about the pressure that I think a lot of LGBT people feel from their ancestors, the pressure to be straight, basically.
Yeah. To carry the name forward.
Yeah. And there's a connection there in what you're saying.
I have only, thankfully, I mean, my cousin is also in the name carrier, so his children will prolong the name. So I'm happy in one way that I haven't broken anybody's expectations, but I was a little worried at one point. I thought, my God, it's so much responsibility to carry on, this sort of facade, and thankfully I think, as queer people, we really have a responsibility to ourselves to live an honest life. There's no point in causing anybody harm or pain. In Italy, there's a lot of homophobia internalized as well, and I haven't been back to Naples in God knows how many years, because I'm so used to living an open life here in the UK and traveling for my work, and I've I just feel so bad for all those gay men who have to live this lie in order to comply with society's rules or regulations or expectations, family, the church, and all that. So yeah, it's scary to write all about this in the show and be open about it. But at the same time, I'm at home, I'm on stage, and I'm amongst friends, and I feel accepted and loved, dare I say, by people here. And I wouldn't want to change that. I want to keep that going as long as I can.
And when you went to Hollywood, what were you expecting and hoping for when you were 18?
I was 18. I went there for a month. My uncle had a restaurant, and I thought, wow, this is going to be great. And I just remember going to seeing the Hollywood sign and seeing all these old sort of 1940s restaurants like the Derby or Ciro's, and I just fell in love with the climate, the calmness of it all. I don't know. I mean, I just thought, well, with my uncle's connections, I thought I'll be in a TV show within a week max. It wasn't like that at all. It's very competitive there, and everybody's an actor. And
were you running around doing loads of interviews all the time? Auditions.
Oh, sure, yeah, auditions. Yeah, I was doing something. I had an agent, and my very first audition was a modeling job, and for Levi's, I think. And I had lovely long hair. At the time, I was so nervous. I had to go to a place to get Sex on the Beach, which was my drink at the time. And I swallowed about 3 of those before the audition. I went to the audition. I was like, yay, this is great. But no, I auditioned a lot. I auditioned for a Madonna video.
Yeah.
The 1970s one. I forget what it's called. I didn't get it. She wasn't there. It was just, they just videoed me in the office there, the casting office. But I auditioned for a lot. I got a couple of movies, small roles. But I did work. I worked in local theatre and started off doing extra work. And
this was all within a month?
This is when I decided to move there.
Okay.
So my idea was after the month, I came back, did my A-levels or whatever it was, and I thought, I'm going to move there.
Okay.
I'm going to make the big move. I'm never going to go to university. I'm going to move to Hollywood and, become the next Brando.
Yeah.
And that was my, when you're 18, everything's just so easy.
Yeah.
It's... So that's what I did. I went back and I was there for about 3.5 years. It was an amazing experience. I loved every minute of it. But I just decided to come back because I missed the theatre. I missed my family. And
in London?
Yeah. There wasn't much theatre going on there, and I missed my family. I came back to my apartment in West Hollywood. I was on my own, and I thought, I want to share my day with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back and I met David and we moved in together in Clapham, and we were together for 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I just, looking back, I tried to go back to the States, and my visa expired or something, and I was told to come back, and I haven't been back since. I really want to visit LA, but not right now. I don't think it's the right climate for me to go back. Mm-hmm. But it'd be nice to bring this show maybe to an off-Broadway audience. That would be lovely.
Yeah.
To do that. Never done off-Broadway.
Do you look at yourself back then in those 3 years? Do you see yourself when you look at him, or do you see a slightly different person? Or
it's still me. It's still me, of course. But yes, I do look back. I mean, I don't look back too much now. I sort of try and look forward. I try to look into the future and or even keeping in the day. But I do tend to reflect on that on the younger me, and I think, wow, and I think, how much have I done since then, And I think, my God, I've done quite a lot. I've done quite a lot since then, We did that movie together, didn't we? That short film, Open Plan. That was 10 years ago, Adam. 10 years ago. Could you imagine?
Oh, God.
Time just flies. Anyway, so I do look back at him and think, wow, good for you. I think, good for you. I think, you tried Hollywood and you gave it your best shot, I mean, and many people say, wow, that was incredible. You just moved to the States and you just got into films and yeah, it just seemed like just a normal thing to do at the time. I didn't think of myself as special or different. And
so why is the word ghosts in the title of the show?
The ghosts, yes, interesting enough, because Ghosts of West Hollywood it's about reinvention. How much of yourself can you afford to lose in chasing a dream? And the ghosts, you'll know when you see the show. It kind of implies various connotations to it. Mm-hmm. Me and my friend Kiva, for example, who introduced me to the gay West Hollywood nightlife, and we had a ball. then so, things happened, and how we became ghosts of ourselves in a way. And also the ghosts of West Hollywood could be, it was a time that we were living in the early AIDS crisis. And it was all going around me without really me acknowledging it, without even me being aware of how many men were dying around me in the area. And so, it implies, people that succumb to the terrible disease of HIV/AIDS. It could mean ghosts of, the ancestors of the ghosts of West Hollywood, But yeah, it's a mishmash of. But I wanted to have a title which, it wasn't quite. It's not. I wanted it to be just really, something that people will remember. After having seen the show. Oh, okay, I saw the show Ghosts of Hollywood, and it made me feel this, or it made me think about that. You know.
Yeah, and memorable.
Yeah.
What was most challenging when you sat down to actually write the show then?
It was about not sort of glorifying anything without making it sound like, oh gosh, it was so easy, and really coming to terms with the journey that I've been on, which has been very difficult, but also ultimately very rewarding, and I think I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be honest and not hide anything, So I had to talk about my sexuality. I had to talk about my ancestors. I had to talk about kicked out of school, drama school, and immigration, and so it's entertaining, but it's also hopefully it's going to be an interesting look at an immigrant's journey, and wherever you go, you always bring yourself. In recovery, we say they say geographicals. So I've been doing geographicals all my life. From Naples to London to LA to New York to Marbella. All these, but at the end of the day, I have to live with myself. So if I can't be honest with myself, then there's no point. So
you said that there is the theme of addiction, and stories of your use of alcohol and drugs in the show, and I'm wondering if you think a lot about how that might connect with an audience today, whether they're members of the gay community or otherwise, and I guess what your experience of those things is in relation to what people today might be going through, the culture around drugs and alcohol today, and what your thoughts are on the connections between your stories and today around that.
Yeah, well, I mean, luckily we're in I feel so grateful that I got sober and clean from drink and drugs, because it showed me a way of life that I couldn't have imagined for myself. And I was lucky because somebody helped me, and I asked for help, and I accepted the help, and I said, right, this is what I need to do. But it wasn't always, I mean, it's, if you go back even 40, 50 years ago, there wasn't such available help. People just had no idea about AA or NA, and it just, the disease just took them, if not their lives, their soul. So I feel very lucky that I've lived in an era where it's so acceptable, and I feel really grateful. It strikes me that that you had that experience, and that today I know that use of alcohol and use of drugs, especially in the gay community, especially gay men, is like it can be a really big problem, and especially the chemsex problem with gay men, or men who have sex with men.
is a big problem. And it's one of those things where you have to be careful about how you talk about it, because rightly so, because it's not the drugs necessarily, it's the health issues, it's the reasons why people, the social and financial reasons and all those things that impact us and how and why we do those things. But it's just, it seems like it's a big problem that not a lot of people are talking about and giving the attention that I think it needs to give. So I always think it's nice to, and not nice, but it's right to have stories, where people like you are sharing your experience so that other people can relate to that.
Well, I grew up with feeling shame and well, dare I say, self-hatred, because I was told by society, family, that there was something wrong with me, that I was crazy or ill or something, and it's if I think back, the drugs and the alcohol were a way to numb those feelings of shame, and it goes beyond the point where it helps. It makes you worse. It makes it worse. You become even more isolated and depressed, and so I had to really accept that I'm an alcoholic. And there's things I can do to live well and content. It's not easy. Of course it isn't. But dealing with my feelings today is I have the tools to cope with daily life and the challenges that it brings. But there's a lot of humor as well, because some of the stories, my God, some of the stories we hear in meetings, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I mean,
that's probably another show, isn't it?
Definitely is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But no, I'm glad I have a platform now that I can share stuff.
Yeah.
That might help or might inform somebody, or that'd be wonderful if I can do that, as well as entertain, make people laugh and enjoy themselves on a night out,
What is it about performing? You've done so much theatre and film and TV work. Yeah. So what is it about that gets you out of bed? And not just gets you out of bed, I feel like you positively leap out of bed at the, when the light is turned on and you're ready to go. So
theatre, you mean? Yeah.
Well, no, just performing in general.
Yeah. I've always had that streak. I always felt I wanted to just express myself and just be other people. I don't know. I mean, I kind of fell into it. I mean, I kind of I got expelled from drama school, because I wasn't your typical actor, the viable way of into the industry. I wasn't like that at all. I was playing up and I was, acting out in class, and the principal after 2 semesters said, this isn't the right energy for you. I was like, okay. And
okay, I'm going to Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm going back to Hollywood. Yeah, see you later, alligator. I guess I've always wanted to express myself, and I wanted to become a pop star. I remember, as a young kid, I wanted to be like, this like really cool pop star, and I wrote a lot as a kid. I wrote a couple of books, not unpublished at the time, and I've always written. I think that's a real nice outlet for me to just write. I've done lots of courses on that as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just feel performing is getting attention, showing off, people applauding. I mean, it's just the best feeling in the world. If they enjoy what you do and what you give, and the response is positive and appreciative of, it feels just so gratifying,
What has been your what has been your most favorite part that you've had, or performance that you've done?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've done quite a bit, like you say. I've done lots of theatre.
If you have to pick one, just the one today. What's the one today that you look back and you think, oh, that one was...
Well, okay. So I see. my claim to fame as far as pop culture is concerned.
Yeah.
I played the anonymous artist Banksy on Ted Lasso.
Okay, yeah.
About 3-4 years ago in season 2, and a little cameo, just one scene and stuff. And I've got more recognition from that small cameo than anything else I've ever done.
It's funny, isn't it, though? Because you have done so much more than that, but it's just that's the one that's that's the most famous thing that people are going to remember.
Such a pop cultural, reference, and think, oh, Banksy, because Banksy's, nobody knows who he is, and it's like there was a lot of fraction on Reddit saying, is Tino Orsini the real Banksy? I don't know. It could be. I don't know. I don't think it is. No.
Hang on a minute. Can you clear this up for us now? And this is a Logbooks exclusive. Are you the real Banksy?
I'm not, I'm afraid.
Well, that's exactly what you would say.
I'm not Banksy. I wish I was. I wish I had his money. But no, always talent. But no, I played this, and I remember the day, and Jason Sudeikis was very generous and said, "Thank you for doing this." I'm like, "Thank you." Yeah. I felt that was the moment. There was a real shift, and but yeah, it's interesting how a small cameo like that can make your career sort of go on sort of another level in a way,
Yeah. And then if you had to pick your dream role, what would that be?
I'd love to do, when I'm older, King Lear.
You'd love to do Lear.
I'd love to do that because everybody says it's just such a challenge,
Yeah.
But you have to be a certain age and have experience to do it, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm a little young for that. So yes, I'm really looking forward to doing that when I'm older, maybe in my early 70s or something.
What kind of Lear would you be?
I would be the Neapolitan King Lear.
Okay.
And make it very sort of
what year would you set it? Would you ideally set it?
No, I would keep it.
Okay.
The date.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would sort of, the performance would be more sort of the King of Naples,
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't wait to see that. I think I saw Patrick Stewart do King Lear, and I don't love Shakespeare, it has to be said, but I saw Patrick Stewart do it. So there's only one way that I can see a better Lear now, and that's if Tino Orsini does it. So I look forward to that. When is this going to happen?
Give me a few years.
Gotta get a lot older.
Yeah. A little bit older. But no, I think Shakespeare. I wasn't a big fan of Shakespeare at school, and I remember our English literature teacher, Miss Hopkins, showing us the Zeffirelli movie of Romeo and Juliet, and I just thought, my God, this is I don't understand a word of what they're saying, but it just feels so visceral and alive, And over the years, I've done a bit of Shakespeare and stuff, and I've kind of really fell in love with the language, the richness of the language. So I'd love to do more Shakespeare.
That'd be great. Yeah. Well, okay, so give us a final message about the Ghost of West Hollywood. Where is it? What's happening?
It's at the Etc. Theatre from the 2nd to the 7th of June, 7 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Sunday, and it's a wonderful evening out in Camden, and looking forward to hopefully see some familiar and friendly faces in the audience, and looking forward to it. I'm really excited.
Well, thank you so much for bringing it to my attention and sharing the stories, and it sounds great. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you so much. I love Adam Zmith with a Z, right?
Yeah, thank you, yes.
Is Smith with a Z, not Smith with an S. Yes. Smith with an S goes, not Z, right?
Smith. It feels good in the mouth.
It does.
Oh, well, thank you, Tino. It's been lovely to chat to you.
Always lovely to see you. Thank you.
So, Tash, what did you make of Tino?
I thought Tino was really sweet and also very reflective, and I really like it when someone can look back at their life and the journeys that they've gone on to get to where they are, and then also sit with that and think about how that impacts their work. And I feel like this show is going to be full of that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And I also do think that secretly he is actually Banksy. But anyway, that's probably a different show.
Amazing.
That would be amazing. So the show is on at the Etc. Theatre in London from the 2nd to the 7th of June. It's called The Ghosts of West Hollywood. And you can book your tickets now, and maybe I'll see you there.
Yeah. What are you up to this week, Adam?
I've got some friends coming over on Saturday night.
Oh, nice.
This year, my flatmates and I started trying to do a monthly salon.
Yes.
Which sounds really wanky, and I hate that word. But, no, I'm getting into it. My flatmate Joe wanted that word, and he's a French speaker, so I just went with it.
Fine, okay.
But the idea is it's just a party, it's just a house party. But we just thought if we intentionally do it every month, we just get a different group of people, new people that are coming into our lives. We just invite them over, just mixing people. And I just think it's like it's so basic. It's just very analog.
I like it. It's a nice idea. And you said to me as well that people often bring something. Maybe it's like a piece of writing that they've done or some music that they want to play. And I really like the idea of sharing with people. I guess that's like the salon idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Still waiting for my invite though.
Yeah. We spent so much time already. But yeah, you should definitely come and read.
Adam's like, no.
You can read one of your poems. No, it would be great. And there was an episode of the Ezra Klein podcast that I was listening to recently, which I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's why. That kind of gave me the context why we wanted to do this regular house party salon thing, was because it was an episode with Priya Parker, who has done some research and written a book about gathering as like a human thing, and how like there's more and more of it nowadays, even though we feel like there's kind of things that like are holding us apart, separating us, or like, you have to have a booking, you have to like go to a restaurant, you have to spend money, and actually she's just like, you can just like invite people over and hang out, and that's fine.
Okay, and this reminds me of the thing I did all year last year, which was the almanac, where I brought some of my friends together every month, and we all had dinner at my house, and I made a different cake each month, because I was, as always, going through a rough time in life and wanted to be gathered with like some of my closest friends around me through food. So yeah, it's a similar thing.
And hopefully that's what we're doing on the logbooks.
Oh, that's nice.
Hopefully, like we're doing it with each other. We said we wanted to be having fun when we're doing this, and
it can all get a bit intense.
So hopefully we will eventually. But also like with the listeners as well, like we're very open and porous. Like we want people to tell us like what to cover, like what we should include, and hopefully listeners feel like we're all sitting here together having a natter. So and also, we've got our Patreon, people can support us on. We've got all of Aunt Nell's other work, the other podcasts. They're all trying to create space where people can come together, really.
Yeah, and just have a nice time. Yeah.
Let's have a nice time.
The Logbooks is an Aunt Nell production.
It is hosted and produced by Tash Walker and Adam Zmith.
The assistant producer is Mia Campbell. Music from Soundstripe.
Original artwork by Natalie Doto.
With thanks to the dreamboats at Acast.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move. And knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state. Here's a tip for you. There's a podcast out there with fans waiting to be your next customer. They tune in every week, they trust the host, and that host wants to talk about brands like yours in their own words to their audience. The problem is, you just haven't been introduced yet. We're Acast, where that introduction happens. As the world's largest podcast marketplace, we let you browse shows, see who's listening, and book host-read sponsorships or run your own ads, all from one platform. Transparent pricing, real-time data, complete control. Start advertising on podcasts by visiting acast.com/advertise.